Yeah. I listened to
Esther has found alignment that she never knew was there for her because of the discomfort she felt in Jerry making this transition.
Right.
Didn't even know it was possible. Miserable at first, worth it now.
Yeah. I was being interviewed by the New York Times, and Arthur Miller was there. And Arthur Miller was a great American playwright, you know. Most of you know The Death of a Salesman, The Crucible, and so on. He was 91 years old. And he was asked the question by the interviewer, are you working on another play? He was 91 years old. And he said, and I've never forgotten this because it really resonated with me. He said, I don't know, but I probably am. Meaning, I think that there's something else moving these checkers around in this checker game that we're playing.
Well, here's the thing, and then we'll take a segment of refreshment. You have been asking, and you've put your preferences into a vibrational reality that you are not cashing in yet. So, yes, he's going to write another play. It's already there. And when he stops talking about how tired he is and stops fussing over how incorrectly they handle his material and gets a good night's sleep, he'll wake up with an impression or an inspiration, and off he'll go again.
Exactly what I did with this last book. On June the 26th, I announced to my kids that I'm not writing any more books. I'm done writing. I've done enough. I don't have to prove myself. I've done 40 books and so on. June 27th, I woke up and I was writing. And 5 months, I wrote morning, noon, and night until I put my neck out of joint. I mean, I could not stop the writing.
You just have to accept that your vortex has enough content in it to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. And as long as you're having fun, then isn't that the point?
Yeah, it was fun. It was just great joy.
Really good.
Great joy, as it is to be with you.
We are enjoying this immensely. Really good time for a segment of refreshment. We are eager to continue, if you are.
I am. I was thinking at the end of the first session that about this guidance and about being able to see more clearly now in my life, and that it took a lot of years and a lot of time, a lot of experiences for me to be able to step back and to see that the right people were showing up at the right time, and that the guidance was there, and that you have to have kind of a willingness to listen and a determination to not allow other people to dictate to you what your life's purpose is, and that has to come from. I was talking to Esther backstage about just this afternoon. I watched the movie called Jobs, the story of Steve Jobs, and while he behaved in a pretty crass way to many people, there was something inside of him that was an absolute knowing that this is the way this industry has to go, or this is the way this computer business or running his company or something.
And he felt a certain level of frustration because he knew he was in alignment, and was not able to convince the others because they were not in a place to hear him.
And sometimes we find ourselves like in relationships, like I was in a relationship with my wife for many, many years, and we separated 13 years ago. And it was one of the tough, trying times in my life, probably as close as I ever was to a depression. And yet it isn't always just the things that smell good and the things that look right and the things that make you feel right that make you make those right turns or those about faces and so on. Sometimes it's these enormous obstacles, and you have to almost be fearless in...
Well, we want to tease all of you a little bit by saying to you that if you were more unwilling to put up with negative emotion, your lives would go a whole lot better for you.
Well, say that again. That's...
You have trained yourselves to be willing to endure misalignment, and then you make decisions without the clarity that you're talking about.
Right.
And then you sort of have to go down that path a little ways until what happens, and it's true, in the conversation that we had with you about your father. And it certainly is true about how Esther felt when Jerry made his transition into non-physical. After a while, you just get really tired of feeling bad. And we don't think the stakes should be that high. We don't think you should have to let so much momentum go so that you're really feeling bad before you recognize that you could have it another way. You see.
So sometimes it's like to be in a state almost of gratitude for the hardships, for the things that are...
Well, that would take care of everything.
Yeah.
If you could stay in a state of appreciation, because appreciation is the way the source within you feels all the time about everything. So it'd be constant, continual, chronic alignment.
Because it was in those moments of despair that I was feeling that when I finally began to be grateful for it instead of feeling sorry for myself, that I became a much more compassionate person. And my writing took on a whole new flavor, and the books that I wrote and the message. In fact, it was when I wrote The Power of Intention, which was probably 50% of it was impacted by your teachings, by the teachings of Abraham. It's all over that book. I couldn't, because I was very deeply into not allowing myself to continue down this path of despair. And when people are in relationships or in places or in jobs or wherever it is that nothing but despair is showing up, that the risk that we feel about changing it, getting out of it, moving along.
But if you're able to make the correlation between how you're feeling and what thoughts are behind you feeling the way you are, and then realizing that you can change the way you feel because you can change your thoughts, and then events change, then you're off and running. It's just a matter of practicing on purpose, thinking and feeling on purpose.
It's almost as if different people start showing up in your life, different circumstances. Carl Jung called it synchronicity.
Depends on what disc you're on. If you're on the Henri disc, Henri ones show up. If you're on the high-flying disc, high-flying ones show up. If you're on the feel sorry for me disc, people show up.
So back to what I was saying before earlier is that when we talked about this different frequency and this different where you got your radio dial tuned to. So same thing what she's saying, this is when you are on a honorary disc, then you're gonna start to attract people that's more honorary. And if you're on maybe a depressional, or you feel sad, or any of those kind of negative emotions, that disc that you're on that's feeling that kind of negative emotions, if you're on that disc, those are the kind of people that you're going to attract. You are on the wealthy disc, or maybe you are on the happy disc. These are the kind of people that's going to show up in your life. And as you move up the pole, it's going to start revealing itself based off of whatever disc that you're on. So this is basically what she's saying.